Hello, thank you so much for clicking this video today. I really appreciate it. Charles Hoskinson just talked about tariffs, and he also predicted that Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000 by the end of this year or by the end of next year. And I think that could spell big things for Cardano and our space as a whole. So we're going to be looking at, what he said about the tariffs, his thoughts on Bitcoin, his thoughts on the future. The Cardano Foundation also released a new, identity platform that we're going to be looking into today as well. We also have an update on the Midnight Airdrop. And the Midnight Airdrop is actually going to be airdropped to over 38 million wallets on over 8 different blockchains. So, it's going to be a news-packed video today. We're going to keep it going quick. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, make sure you like, comment. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start this video off by looking at Charles Hoskinson's thoughts on the tariffs that are currently in place on other countries from the United States, and we're also going to listen to his Bitcoin price prediction.
What ends up happening is crypto benefits in the long term, because geopolitically what's happening is we're moving from a rules-based international order to a great powers conflict. Now, we're kind of young, so we spent our entire adult lives under a rules-based international order, but our parents and grandparents, they lived under great powers conflict. It was the United States and the Soviet Union going at it. So it didn't matter what the trade deal was. It didn't matter what the rule law was. If the Soviet Union wanted to do something or US wanted to do something, they just do it. And now we go back to great powers conflict. If Russia wants to invade Ukraine, it invades Ukraine. If China wants to invade Taiwan, it's going to do that. So treaties don't really work so well, and global business doesn't really work so well there. So your only option for globalization is crypto. If you want to do business with countries the United States doesn't like, or Russia doesn't like, or China doesn't like, in a global commons, you can no longer do that through treaty organizations or legacy banks and things. You can only do that through crypto.
Just to get back to kind of where we currently are, you don't think we're heading towards another crypto winter at all?
No. I think Bitcoin will be over 250,000 by the end of this year or next year.
What's going to drive that, do you think?
What'll happen is that the tariff stuff will be a dud, and that people will realize that the world is willing to negotiate. And it's really just U.S. versus China, and a lot of people will side with us, some people will side with China. The markets will stabilize a little bit, and they'll get used to the new normal.
So it's awesome to hear that he predicts that Bitcoin's going to go to 250K by the end of this year or by the end of next year. And that could happen. It could not happen. And I think, what was nice to hear is the calmness in his voice. I think people are a bit irrational right now. I think they think that the tariffs are the end of the world. And, frankly, I don't believe that they are. I personally believe that cryptocurrency is in the best place that it has ever been in its entire existence in terms of regulatory framework. And I believe that the United States government, who has essentially had, their knee on the neck that is cryptocurrency, our industry, for many years, I believe that they're lifting that. I believe that they're actually giving us some room to be able to breathe and innovate. And, we're going to be getting into it in a minute, but, essentially a new, legislation around crypto, was passed, an old bill that essentially made, running DeFi or running stake pools, much harder than it was in the past. So, we're going to get to that in a second. It's really exciting news, but it was nice to see this kind of calm approach and calm thoughts about cryptocurrency as a whole right now, especially while everyone's freaking out. Shout out to Angry Crypto Show. He's the new guy in town. He's the man. He's making good Cardano videos, posting good clips. So here's a clip from Charles Hoskinson himself, posted by Angry Crypto Show. This was him speaking recently at Paris Blockchain Week. I didn't make it this year. I did make it last year. It's a good event. I wish I could have made it. Let's watch this short clip.
An airdrop 37 million people in 8 networks. So if you hold Bitcoin or Ether or Cardano or XRP, congratulations, Ripple, Solana, and a few others, you'll get a drop. So everybody gets a taste. Second, you have to have chain abstraction. It means that if you're in any of these networks, you can use Midnight and pay for it with your own cryptocurrency. Ether, ADA, or Bitcoin, whatever you have, you can use.
So I watched the whole talk. The whole talk was about 21 minutes. I watched it to summarize it for you guys. I know you're busy at work doing bigger and better things. So essentially, what is happening is Midnight is, going to be this trustless layer in between all of these different blockchains, right? Dust is going to be the fee that is used to pay to use Midnight. And Midnight is going to sit, essentially on top of Cardano, on top of XRP, on top of, Ethereum. And this Dust token is actually going to be airdropped to 38 million wallets on 8 different blockchains. And I think that's going to be an interesting time. I'm excited to see how it plays out. He also mentions that the test net's going well. The developer experience is pretty good. So I'm excited to see the future of Midnight. I'm excited to see how this plays out. And I think that we do need a middleware, layer between chains. And he also kind of brings up this idea that, crypto communities are quite adversarial to each other because, for them to win, this blockchain, my blockchain or whatever has to lose. And, by having this kind of middleware that allows you to use all of these different chains makes sense. It's something I would like to see. So, that's the Midnight update. There's no details as far as how you collect it yet or when it's going to be, but I am going to keep you guys updated as the info comes out. So I got another one from Angry Crypto Show here. He said, just in, Kraken, serving over 15 million clients, says we're working on it, listing SNEC and more Cardano native tokens seriously. You can see that tweet down here. This is exciting news. Kraken is the exchange that, I've used in the past. I've also used Coinbase. I personally like Kraken more than any other U.S. cryptocurrency exchange. I've worked with their support. I've talked to guys on the team before. I've got a contact at Kraken, and they're amazing. Any problem I ever have, they fix it. I can't say the same about Coinbase, honestly, and them supporting Cardano native assets would be huge because a lot of exchanges haven't supported them in the past. And considering they have over 15 million clients, that's going to be a lot of marketing power for Cardano native tokens like SNEC. Introducing Viridian, an open source identity wallet and platform now live on iOS and Android. Viridian puts you in control of your digital identity with secure, verifiable credentials and privacy-preserving infrastructure. This is a Twitter post directly from the Cardano Foundation. So what they've released is a new open source identity wallet and platform. And it's on the App Store already. So I wanted to say a big shout out to the Cardano Foundation. I'll be honest, I haven't used it. I think identity is very important. I've always liked the idea of being able to sign something without giving them all of the information. So it's like if I'm, 20 and, I sign it, it says, yes, they're over 20, but I don't have to give them my details or my age. So it's nice to see somebody working on this, especially with it being open source and live on the App Store. I wish them luck and I wish them well. And I'll probably try it out here in the future. I've just been busy. So, make sure you guys check it out. I'll put some links down below for this, release. So Eternal release an update. Eternal's always been my favorite wallet. I'll be honest. I've seen people online, they say, oh, well, Eternal, it's too complicated. It's not good for new users. Well, I loved it because it showed the UTXO in and out very well for me to easily be able to understand my transactions. They also had, great multi-wallet support, a great ability to send, UTXO outs to a bunch of different wallets at the same time. Now they've come out with a new update that introduces multi-sig, which isn't something that you see commonly on Cardano. That's incredible to see. You guys can take a look at it. I'm here on testnet. I've got some test ADA here. And a great way to try this new Eternal update is, create a testnet wallet on Preview Network. You can get some test ADA from the faucet. You can play around with it, have a good bit of ADA in there. You get 10K from the faucet. And then we also have the Atrium testnet going on right now. So you can connect your, Eternal wallet directly to the testnet. We've been working on Atrium for the past 2.5 years. The goal of it is just to make cryptocurrency easy for new users and bring those new users to the great projects that already exist on Cardano. And on top of that, we've built some of our own, software that's never been seen before on Cardano, some smart contracts that have never been seen before. One of those is, the profile minting contract. I'm not going to get into everything we have in Atrium because it's quite a lot now, but you can come in, you can mint a profile, and you can level it up. You know, as you level it up, you're going to get a higher airdrop on mainnet, and you're actually going to start getting, you know, these unlockables too that you can transfer over to your mainnet profile. You know, we're working on spinning up mainnet right now, but once Atrium's live on mainnet, what you'll be able to do is have a profile that people can follow, that people can stake to it as well. You know, I have this test account here called Andrew. People are going to be able to stake to this on mainnet as if you were an SPO. So you don't even have to run a node. You just have to mint a profile, and you can start gathering Atma token delegation. You know, there's a lot here. You can see some of the challenges. You know, you get the challenges from, you know, using Discord, using X, and using the Cardano blockchain on testnet. There's no money involved right now. You can get in and you can start leveling up, unlocking rewards. Once mainnet comes around, you'll be able to bring those rewards over if you mint a mainnet profile, and you'll also get an airdrop. Also, we have a unique code. So if you made it to the end of the video, this is the end. Type down below, type in midnight, right? And then we also have a code within Atrium. You can go to redeem code here. You type in midnight just like that, and you'll actually get some XP on your profile that'll help you towards that airdrop. It'll also give you some more unlocks. I'm really excited for launching mainnet. You know, a lot of people have worked on this, and our life essence has gone into it for the past couple of years. And I think the Cardano community's gonna love it, and I think you will too. Check it out. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you comment midnight down below. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I said in the last video that if you guys gave me, you know, if you guys showed me you liked them, I'll keep making them. And there's a lot of engagement. You guys liked it. I got a bunch of comments. So do the same again. Click the like button. I also tried to spice up the background a little bit for you. You got to realize I hyperfixate on work sometimes. So the last thing I care about is my background. But I asked my girlfriend, I was like, hey, can you make it a little pretty back there for me? And, you know, this is the start. I think she's done a great job. So, you know, if you like the start of the background, say, you know, thanks Pays GF in the comments. So hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'm excited about the future of Cardano. Ignore the noise. We're on the right path. We're doing well. I wish you guys well.